Let's take a step back from like the technicalities and legalities of this specific service. I don't want to keep saying their name because I don't want anyone to think like we're endorsing them or anything like that. But just the idea of betting on people, on their clout. First of all, anyone who uses the word clout like unironically in this context, very sus.
Oh God.
Yeah, and they've sort of proposed this idea that like, oh, if someone's involved in a controversy, they would go down in value. Why would we think that's the case? Because if, as far as I'm aware, the price of someone's coin is only tied to its demand.
Demand, yeah.
Other people's interest in buying it. If I'm, Logan Paul and I film a dead body and news around the world is talking about me, isn't that notoriety just more likely that people buy my coin?
So I found that interesting because in BitClout's white paper, they said that the value of the coin would be tied to the creator's social standing, which when you read that sentence in isolation, you think, oh, so the better a person is, like in terms of their morality and stance or whatever, then the higher their value. That makes sense. But that's not how it's going to roll out in practice, is it?
I don't want to get too technical here, but the BitClout or the creator coins, like the Elon Musk coin, is not a market the way Bitcoin is a market or the stock market is a market where the prices are set by supply and demand. BitClout is deciding the price based on how many people have previously bought it. So if there's a controversy overnight, the next day everybody wants to sell. In a stock market, there might be nobody willing to buy the stock because nobody wants to touch it. It's too toxic. But in this market, you always get to sell at a price determined by how many exist. So if you're the first person to sell in the morning, you're still going to get the highest price, no matter how toxic that creator and coin has now become.
So it's not exactly like a stock market for people.
Yeah, so it's not based on supply and demand the way a market should be. It's just, they decide the price based on how many people have already invested before you.
Yeah, but presumably how many they make available probably corresponds to how many people want to buy that creator's coin.
So like the more people have bought before you, the higher the price is. It's a very subtle difference. I'm sorry for getting too technical.
No, that's
helpful,
useful.
though.
But just like I was sort of using with the Pokemon example, like I feel like some early adopters of this might trick some people into buying a bunch of coins, making money on it, and then 3 years from now, no one cares about this at all, right? That seems very plausible to me.
And didn't that happen?
This isn't the first service to try to, tie a value to a creator. I think, was it BitConnect?
BitConnect 2.0.
I don't want to slander some company if that's not the right name.
It's pretty big. I read about that
There have been
too,
like
in
Ponzi
2017.
schemes and this is such there's so much opportunity for fraud when it comes to these things, right? At a social level, though, do we want a system that clout, as we sort of establish, isn't necessarily a positive thing? It would almost be like incentivizing people just to get notoriety for any reason and see their stock price go up in a way, right?
You'd think, like, in theory, this kind of thing would, at surface level, incentivize creators to do good or to be good or be good role models. And wouldn't that be amazing if there was something that actually incentivized creators to do that and not fuck up, right? Not have to make apologies, etc. But this kind of thing, it makes me feel like it's more just pressure to stay relevant rather than making good on your investors, which in this case are your fans who've just like bought your stock. You don't necessarily need to continue just to produce great content and be a good inspiration or role model. You just need to stay relevant so that your name is being spoken increasingly. And that can include being in more controversies.
Absolutely. We see this in like traditional celebrities and online celebrities, right? The more like there's no such thing as bad publicity. I don't know if I really believe that, but there are clearly people who have leveraged this idea that they should just do anything controversial just to appear in headlines, right?